Hello and welcome to Wisdom for Wannabes, the podcast that seeks to discover wise words in business, beauty, and betterment. I am the host, Jackie Moriali. Today's topic is beauty by way of fine art and books. Today's guest is a true example of what it means to build a creative life without limits. From Chicago roots to the vibrant art scene of South Florida, R.G. Taylor is a multidisciplinary artist, children's book author, and creative entrepreneur whose work blends storytelling, visual art, and community impact. R.G. is also the artist and author in residence at The Peach, West Palm Beach, which is a space that's redefining what it means to bring creatives together. Beyond creating art, he's helping cultivate the next generation, inspiring future artists, authors, and illustrators, and art historians alike. To mention a few of the exciting things that are happening here with R.G. Taylor and The Peach, we have The Peach's Art Walk and Book Signing event on Saturday, April 4th, and the Docent training program in collaboration with the Norton Museum of Art on Friday, April 10th. Not only are we gaining wisdom today from R.G. Taylor, but local artists, authors, and art lovers alike are also getting an invitation. One more time, R.G. Taylor, welcome to Wisdom for Wannabes. I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Jackie, it's a pleasure, and thank you for having me here to be on your podcast. It's
So
exciting and a
excited.
thrill. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Let's go back to the very beginning. I know that others describe you as a multidisciplinary artist. When or where did that all start for you?
For me, it started probably years ago and then recently. I always have been doing artistic things and doing art in different ways and different expressions. It was maybe a year ago when I was given that term multidisciplinary. I thought that kind of works because I write, I paint, I create in different ways. So multidisciplinary, I try to avoid labels, but I'm like, that one suits me. So I'm going to accept it and take it on.
It's almost like a triple threat. You have so many different things going on. I love that being an artist lets you capture all these different talents that you have and bring it all together in this creative way.
Me too. It's never something that I thought of. I thought I need to do this. I want to do that. I didn't ever put a limit on myself to say, I can't do that because I'm a this. I can't write because I'm a painter. I can't paint because I'm a writer or what have you. I just went for it all and do all that is within my soul to express. That's how it comes about.
Good for you. So this is just something that's you, that's always been there.
Exactly. I've always just wanted to create in different ways. I'll say something too. There were seasons when I didn't create. I think as an artist, there are times when your output isn't as great because other things are happening, but you're still an artist. Even if you're not taking all those creative things or doing as many as you want, you're still an artist. I say that to the other parents or the other people that are out there saying, well, I'm maybe not an artist because I'm not, creating or something. I think you're an artist always. It's just at certain times you maybe can't be as productive. I was soccer coach for my kids and I was the band dad. There were times I just wasn't creating because I was living my life and those were choices that I wanted. And I think that's just really important to know that I was still an artist. I also was living my life and doing things. That's important to always know that it's not either or, it's and. I'm an artist and I live my life and do these other things.
I just felt something. I think we all have ebbs and flows. There's some periods where you're just prolific and you can really dive deep into that well of artistry. But there's other times, like you mentioned, where you're the chorus mom or you're the soccer dad and you're filling your cup with other things that maybe will inspire you at another time. That's who you are on the inside.
I think we kind of paint ourselves into a corner and we really shouldn't. We are living this life. We are on this journey and we are moving forward. It's all part of it. You have to embrace it all. Don't put yourself under, I didn't do this. I didn't create. I didn't do this day because I was bringing the orange slices for soccer practice. I mean, you have to recognize that's important in life, and maybe you'll paint orange slices in a future canvas. Nothing is wasted. Don't look at it as like, oh man, I'm not doing X, Y, Z because I'm doing elemental P instead. Like, don't categorize that way. Be in the moment of what you're doing, and it's still there. You're always an artist. You are doing other things right now, which are as important, if not more important, honestly. than some of the things. We have to give ourselves the grace to know and recognize what's important. And it's all important. It's just different timing.
It's such an amazing thing to speak with you. We're here to talk about art and all the amazing things that you're doing in the Peach and local community in West Palm and South Florida. And really, it's a philosophical conversation right off the bat. I love that you are just an artist to the core on the inside, whether you're actively putting paint on canvas or not.
Thank you.
I know you grew up in Chicago and now we're both here in South Florida. How did growing up in Chicago versus living here in West Palm Beach shape your creative lens? Or did it shape your
Sure.
creative lens?
It absolutely did. When I was little, every February, my family would leave the grayish, beige, and gray of Chicago to come to Florida for a week's vacation to visit my grandparents who lived here. When I was little, 8 years old, I guess, in those times, you would get off the plane and walk on the tarmac into the airport. They didn't have those extenders that came out. I remember leaving Chicago, blistering cold, freezing below zero, snow and gray, and getting off the plane into Florida and like feeling that humidity hit you and the heat hit you and seeing green palm trees and bright colored flowers and just all this color. As a kid, I was just amazed in my mind. I thought all the world was like Chicago. Until you get off the plane and you realize there's other places that have this beauty. I couldn't even articulate it. I was just in awe of like, we could live here. And I'm like, why don't we live here now? As a little kid, I made a vow that someday I am going to live in Florida. I vowed that I'm going to move here and live here because I just couldn't believe it. Like, all the colors and my grandparents, their condo was very Floridian in the 70s, if you can imagine that. All these colors, and it was just so different than what I saw and experienced in Chicago. So heavily influenced by coming from Chicago to Florida. And as an artist, I can look back and it actually inspired to do a piece around the grayish of like Chicago vibes. Some of my work, which like Miami vibes and Key West vibes, but I'm inspired to kind of visit the beauty of the grayish that is Chicago and that brick red kind of color. Having done this interview, I've been inspired for another piece.
You've inspired me so much. If I can give you that little tiny bit of inspiration to go back to the grayish of Chicago with a different lens, I'm very happy with that. I know that your parents both had an incredible artistic influence on you. I know we've spoken about your dad in particular, is an artist, practicing artist, and artist to the core as well. When did you realize that this wasn't just exposure? This was actually your path, that art was meant for you.
With art, it became a path for me. It was on and off. I worked a regular, as they say, 9 to 5. I did do that for many years. Yet throughout that time making choices, I was still creating in different ways. Even though my particular job didn't lend me to do that, I still found ways at times, even in the job with video presentations and things, to still be creative in these multi-billion-dollar companies.
Amazing.
Not even consciously aware that, oh, I'm creating. I just did what I did and it was appreciated. I think art was and is a choice. It's always a choice. Sometimes you get to make that choice daily and it becomes a career. And sometimes you have to choose it hourly, or you don't get to choose it that week because other choices are superseding that. Later in my life, being an empty nester or semi-empty nester, I started writing Spike in the Holiday Parade because I was inspired to do that. And my kids were encouraging to do that. I just started to go that path, then painting, and here we are.
Maybe it was your book, but was there a moment where you chose art or art chose you, if you could nail it down?
I chose art and I continue to choose art. That is something that I think is very conscious to do. When you create, you're choosing to create. When you don't create, you have to choose not to create. I've made a lot of choices to choose art in my life and to continue to pursue it and to do it. From my experience, it didn't find me. I just kept choosing it and continued to choose it, being an artist and grounded as an artist. Then I'm able to expand and say, I want to, as an artist, try XYZ or ABC. But doesn't change me as an artist. I am still the artist that I am. I'm just trying something new and different.
I want to talk about your book. I want to talk about the Peach. I want to talk about your pieces, all the different multifaceted styles of art that you are expressing yourself through. But before we do that, let's do some quick fire questions.
Okay.
Ready for
All
this?
right.
Whatever's
Deep
off the
breath.
top
Here
of
we
your
go.
head. Okay.
All right. All right, I'm
Let's start
ready.
with something easy. Well,
Okay.
art or storytelling, R.G. Taylor.
Yes.
Yes. Well done.
Yes. Storytelling.
Both.
Yes. They're both.
Abstract or photorealistic?
I got to go abstract on that one. Photorealistic, we have photos that can mimic and be perfect. Abstract, you can't photo abstract. You can take a picture of an abstract, but you can't replicate. The cameras can't make abstract. That's why I think abstract is far more original than something that's photorealistic. I know I'll have some people that are probably going to be upset about. Send all those comments to Jackie, okay? Not to
Right.
me.
Well, photos are art. Photography
Yeah.
is so beautiful. But yes, there's something about abstract concepts drawn, painted, how that can't be captured with a lens or would have to be very differently captured as a
Yeah,
lens.
I recognize the artistry, and I've seen
Yes,
phenomenal photographs that are
exactly.
moving and are tremendous. I'm just saying my preference would be the abstract side.
Looking at your piece behind you that I
Mm,
know is
hmm.
called Audacity, it's abstract art. It's beautiful and it gives me movement and inspiration to be audacious. I
Thank
I
you.
I get that choice.
Thank
It
you.
could have been a yes, but I like that you stuck with the abstract because it suits you.
Gotcha.
Chicago or Florida?
I'm going to go Florida because of the colors and the sunshine and the being able to be outside all seasons. I love it here.
I'm from up north as well. The colors are just different. It's a different color palette.
For
Is
sure.
there a most inspiring place in the world for you?
A lot of my early inspiration came as a child when we would take field trips to the Art Institute of Chicago. And I would go there as a kid and I would see the different pieces, amazed by the George Seurat, the painting of Sunday in the Park. It was pointillism. He took little dots and he created the pieces. As a kid, I saw it from afar and I got up close and I realized that it was all the dots. When the dots were far away, they combined by our eyes to create the colors. I was like, that's genius to do this, to think that you had to put the blue dot with this dot to create this color and to do all that, and then step away and see how my mind just tricked me into seeing these colors. That inspired me a lot and still does. I would have to say multiple museums like the Louvre, the Art Institute, the Norton, different ones have been inspiring for sure.
Then the next question is it about perfection or getting it done?
I'll say yes again, with
Yes.
the caveat that at some point in your perfectionism, you have to call it. You have to say it's done. The gallery needs it. It needs to go on the wall. Something happens and you just have to live with it and say it's done. I can get into my head too much and try to overdo things. I'm excited about my next series right now because I'm holding back in my current work right now. Talk about transitions. Some of my earlier work is like this, but some of my newer work now, I am holding back and restraining myself from going full on RG, if you will. I am being restrained in it and I'm loving it to be able to simplify, if you will. I'm going to say yes, and that's my caveat.
Do you create alone or collaborate?
Again, that's another yes. I love to work alone, and there's times when I do that. I'm actually excited about collaborating with several of my colleagues at the Peach. They've provided me several of their works, and they want me to put the RG to it. I'm excited to collaborate like that. I think collaborations are very important. It helps with, relationship building, which I'm very much a part of and love to do. So, but there are times when I'm in my own thoughts and do my own thing for sure.
So that's another yes.
Another yes,
Another yes.
elongated.
Let's take it to your favorites. This might also make people mad. Favorite place to eat in West Palm Beach?
Well, we have a lot of
We
really
have a
great
lot
places.
of good places.
I have to say El Segundo. It's elevated Mexican food, which I love. Their chips are outstanding. There's several others, but if I'm going to get a good bite, good meal, good service, it's El Segundo. It happens to be at the Peach, but even though it wasn't at the Peach, it's still one of my favorite all-time places to go.
Everybody at El Segundo, thank you for being amazing. Favorite book?
Of course, I would say my favorite book is my book. My favorite book, honestly, was Atlas Shrugged. That was my favorite book. I just loved the concepts and the ideas and the owning yourself and being in charge of your life. I still reference that from time to time in my life and just recognizing the importance of creating. In the book, it's your own metal. In my life, it's my own art, my own voice, my own direction.
Favorite artist? This one can also be you if you'd like.
My highest inspiration has been Jackson Pollock. When I look at how he's crafted his works and I gratefully get compared to him, which is a huge honor. Yet I know that I do different than him. That makes me be me in what I do. But I would say Jackson.
I'm sure you've seen the movie and the process. I look forward to the R.G. Taylor movie one day where I can
Oh,
understand your process and the intricacies of it and some of the crazy behind it, because all artists do have a little bit of that as well.
let's make that happen.
Let's make it. Why not? Favorite musician?
U2. I know it's not a musician, but band, it's U2.
Timeless. Good answer. Favorite author?
I'm just reading again, like the Lottery, the short story. It's by Shirley Jackson. That short story is an indictment against tradition. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to read it, but you should. Anybody should. It's just tremendous. I love short stories because the author has to be challenged to do so much in a short amount of time. She does it, and she's one of the reasons why when I write, I just appreciated how she was so good with the language to be able to create the scenery and everything in such a short amount of time. I've tried to honestly emulate that in my own writing. Today, it would be Shirley Jackson.
I have to pick it back up because it's fun when you read things from back in the day and then you have a totally different lens. Even
Exactly.
75 years later, it can still really ring true and be relevant. Favorite quote for life or mantra?
If it is to be, it is up to me. Took a while to learn that, but I have learned it. And then I can caveat and say with a team and with others to help and collaborating. But if it is to be, it is up to me to make that first stop, to have the audacity to think that something is going to happen, whatever that is, fill in the blank. If it's going to happen, I will be the one that will have to initiate, start, get it going, and then let it gain its traction and wheels or legs and start taking off and move on with it.
If it is to be, it is up to me. You have to be your own hero, right?
Exactly.
Nobody's
You have to
coming.
do it. You have to make it happen. I recognize that I can't make it happen on my own. I can't do it by myself. Yet I recognize too, and I'm maybe wise enough finally to know that if there's any idea that this brain comes up with, I will have to start it and then bring in and recruit and network or what have you to kind of help it all come together.
Takes a village, absolutely. But that spark, if you get it, if you have that, you have
You
to
run
do
with
it.
it. You go for it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
you have to. It was given to you. You've got this concept, this idea.
I feel the fire. I can't wait to see what you do next. It's just so much there.
You just do it. You just gotta. Sometimes I just write. You want a little bit of sneak into the process for the movie that we talked about. In the
Yes.
future, we use this clip. I have to just write things that I know I'm never going to use, or I have to paint stuff that I'm not ever going to use, unclog it all and let it get it out so that the flow and the good stuff, I call it, starts to come through and you're able to then get to where you want to be. I'll write paragraphs that I know have no, but it's there and I can't get rid of it. So I just write it and it gets it out. Then it's like the clogged river is done and I can begin with the flow of ideas and concepts and start again. That's just part of my creative process. Some of the artists I'm collaborating with, their work is hanging in my house right now so I can see it. I get ideas about how I want to interpret it for myself. There it's hanging, in my house. But I'm not ready yet to put the paint on it, but I'm looking at it and studying it and figuring out what it wants to be.
Let's switch gears and talk about your book called Spike and the Holiday Parade. It is a children's book inspired by stories that you told to your own children. How did those moments turn into something bigger with this book?
When my kids were little, I would tell them stories. Whatever the day's events were, I would interject them and then introduce crazy characters like elephants and such into the story. They would laugh. Sometimes I would ask them to leave the story on a cliffhanger and they'd have to tell me how it ended in the morning. That was honestly the parental hack. They wouldn't get up and want a glass of water. They'd be in bed and have to figure out the end of the story and they would fall asleep. There's a useful hack, parents,
That's
to tell their kids a
amazing.
story and then just make them think about the ending. And then they fall asleep. More out of sanity than maybe out of creativity that came about, to be honest.
Think about it. Even with ourselves, so many times you have this creative cliffhanger, whether it's what's your next stroke or what's your next page or word. We all need to have a night to sleep on it, think about it, dream about it, and kind of connect the dots and see what we come up with from there. How great is that you can continue it with your kids and use that collaborative process to problem solve creatively together.
It was a lot of fun. And fast forward years later, I was thinking about doing a book. My kids are like, yeah, Dad, you should. It was great. We enjoyed those stories. It wasn't, oh my gosh, Dad, go. It's just like, More like, yeah, Dad, good idea. Go for it. They were happy for me and wanted me to do it. So I did it. And I still have a video of when I showed them the book being finished and them opening it up. They opened up and they saw despite the holiday parade around the holidays. Their reactions are fantastic because they're in the book. To be in a book, they're thrilled and excited. It's a special moment as an author that you get to see your books being delivered, but then to see your own kids in the story or to see their reactions and your friends and your family and everyone, even new readers being able to look at the book and enjoy it is just an author's thrill ride, like a roller coaster. It's just the absolute most fun. It came about through inspiration from them, but also to the desire to create and to write. I'm very, very proud of it.
I am so excited to hear you say that. I can't wait to see what Spike's next adventure will be. And I'm so happy to hear that your kids are your biggest fans.
My son lives in Chicago now, but my daughter's close here and she comes to my signings or to my art openings. I have the support of my kids. It's great. Really happy to. Hi, kids. I love you. Really
Yes,
quick.
hi kids. It's so nice to hear that they support you and your art
Sure.
from everywhere. What, in your opinion, makes a children's story stick? Not just with kids, but perhaps with the adults or the parents or guardians that read it with them too.
What makes the story stick are the characters. When the characters are engaging by being relatable, if the character is grumpy, people can relate to being grumpy. If the character is happy, people can relate to being happy. I think the relatability of the main character and the sub characters in the story give it that long lasting quality. The writing has to be good in the story. The setting has to be relatable or understandable, at least. Obviously, for fantasy and science fiction, they create other worlds. Think of Star Wars and all, these other worlds, which I find phenomenal that people can create these in their imagination. But those are the long lasting attributes, I think, that help a book, and obviously specifically a children's book, be long lasting and enduring.
Why was it important to you to include themes like unity and compassion in your Spike and the Holiday Parade book?
That's a great question. I was always just so happy to see my kids' friends come over. In South Florida, we have a lot of diversity in terms of our population here. And Spike, of course, just loved everybody that walked through the door. Whatever or whoever came over, Spike loved everybody. I think that theme is important. In the book, it's carried out that I like good humans and I don't really need to know everything else of where, you stand on certain topics. Just I you to be a good human. And for Spike, that was good enough. And in many ways for me, that's good enough too. I like those themes and I practice them in life.
I think we could all learn a thing or two from Spike. I love that compassion that a dog is going to love anyone good who walks through the door.
Kids like you as people. And if you weren't my kid, I would still like you. But some
That's
of
the
your
best.
friends, maybe not so much when they were younger. But you as a person, I like you. I like those kids. But some of the other ones, and Spike seemed to know, and we would agree
Right.
on some of them.
Dogs always know.
The
They get
dogs
the
always
feeling.
know. Even still, I knew they were young. I knew they were trying to figure things out. And also, it's like, hey, you're still welcome. They were welcome, of course,
That's
to be
amazing.
there.
The fact that you have good grown up kids means that you're a good dad and you gave them all the tools that they need to be that now. That's an amazing way to know if the orange slices and all those things that happened along the years get it up to this wonderful human being that they are today.
Thank you. That's a huge, huge compliment. And kids, if you're listening, I hope you agree. Thank you so much for that.
So what does joining the parade represent beyond the story itself?
When it says to join Spike's parade, and I use it as a hashtag, it's not just by the book or be a part. It's calling people to be something much bigger, which is being a good human. Be a good human. Join a group of people that are also good humans, that are going to recognize you far beyond beliefs and thoughts that you may have, but can just see you for you as a good human, as a good person, as a good Samaritan. Joining Spike's parade is the movement of saying, I want to see more of this kind of inclusivity that the book talks about, and everyone working together. Maybe they don't have the same exact belief, but they can all come together and form Spike's parade and raise money for the animal shelter where Spike was rescued.
I love when children's books are deceptively simple and yet have this really important message that anyone can understand and gain from reading it. Let's talk more about your creative ventures. You didn't
Okay.
just write this book, you also built a brand, Spike Media Group. So you have a media presence and really a movement. Why was that important to do in addition to the book?
It came about because in writing the book, I had to form the LLC. Then you start to ask other questions. You realize there can be more of a platform here to be able to articulate multiple messages and different pathways for artists and to be included. I saw an opportunity to make something more. I'm thrilled with it and just loving how it's growing into its own being. I'm like at the helm, but I'm like the dog that got the bumper that it was chasing the car. It's like, now what? I finally got it and it's just taken off. It's a ride and it's tremendous.
I can't wait to hashtag join Spike's parade that really brings us together as artists. I love that the value of unity is there in everything that you do, Archie. Here's a question that you might just say yes to again. Do you think of yourself as an author, an artist, a founder, a community builder, or all of the above? What is your favorite role if you had to pick?
It's going to be a yes, all the above. What is my favorite? It's honestly going to vary by the day, which hat I wear. I see all of those things that you mentioned as different hats, if you will, that I have to take on and off. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 stacked, that I'm wearing. Being a parent, you know how to wear multiple hats. I love the community building. I love being a parent. It's just part of being an artist, being full in my life that then carries into my art and what I express through writing, what I express through painting. I love all the hats. And I have others that you didn't even mention.
Exactly. That's just the top of the
Strategic
list.
partner builder and these other
Yes.
things. I love it all. I really love it all.
And it shows. That's the nice part about being an artist.
That's exactly it.
Let's talk more about your work at the Peach, one of the pieces of the pie. I love that it's called the Peach, by the way. I've been over that bridge so many times. Neon peach that's right there over the bridge as you drive by. It struck me the last time that we were driving by it, and I'm like, what is that? I need to know more about it. Tell me more about the Peach and your work at the Peach.
Of
What
course.
drew you to become artist and author in residence there? And congratulations, that is amazing.
Thank you so much. Quick backstory. The Peach's name came from that we're on Georgia Avenue. So Georgia and Peach, it's Georgia Peach. They named the campus. It has the restaurant. It has 6 studios. It has vendor village when we have vendors come for different events. We have also a gallery that fluctuates with different events and such in it. So it's a wonderful campus, formerly garage bays where they fixed cars that has been converted now into these 6 studios. We have 11 artists in residence there, and we create on a daily basis. It's an amazing collective of people. My role there came about, interestingly enough, I was interested in a space. I submitted my art to them, and I didn't hear back. Then I got a call from the president of the No More Starving Artists Foundation. It was an email inviting me to be an artist in residence at the Peach through the No More Starving Artists Foundation. Trina Slade Burke, who's the president of the foundation. The people from the Peach had contacted her through the foundation to say, we think you should, consider him as part of your artist in residency program at the Peach. She liked what she saw and offered me the artist in residence there for a year. I am accepted that. I got the email on would I be interested. I think within 5 seconds, I said, yes, of course,
Yes,
I'm going to do it.
that's
Didn't need to
amazing.
think about it or anything. I was like, yes, of course, I want to do it and be a part. As they say, the rest is history. I've been there now starting in January. I have through December. And I don't know what's next after that, but I'm just loving that I'm a part of this collective of artists. Just a shout out to the group. We just won the Community Impact Award from the Cultural Council for Palm Beach County for 2020. Congratulations to the Peach and all the artists. The group is just a tremendous collective of people, and we're there for each other. I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. So that's the story from one thing to the other, and one person referring me to the next to then it all coming together. Nothing that I could have orchestrated or put together. It just happened. That's
Sounds
sometimes I think the best ways.
It sounds very aligned. Now you're part of this collective of artists in residency at the Peach for this, and you've already been recognized with this amazing award from the Palm Beach Cultural Council.
The whole collective received that, and it's just tremendous. Peach has been around just for 4 years, and in 4 short years, they've been recognized this way. It's just tremendous to the artistry, the artists, the collective, all the different people. Craig McInnes, who's the manager there, and different ones all have been tremendous in bringing about the success that is the Peach today and the power of the Peach, as we call it.
Of the Peach. You guys are doing so much for the community, for the arts right here in Palm Beach County. I'm floored. Congratulations to the whole collective, making West Palm Beach a destination for the arts. What makes this space, the Peach, in particular, different from a typical gallery or creative venue?
Most galleries, when you attend, the artists are present. That's a similarity. What I think is unique about the Peach is that it's not galleries, it's actual studios. The artists not only show their work, but they are also creating. At any given time, you can come to the Peach and you'll see that the artists are painting or sculpting or whatever their discipline is, or multidiscipline. They are working on that at any time. That's what I think really sets the Peach apart from other galleries and venues, is that you can actually witness and see the creation of pieces. You can pre-order pieces if you want to commission artists to do something.
Right there in that space. It's like magic. How important is community when it comes to sustaining a creative life?
In sustaining a creative life, community is probably 80+% of it. You really have to be out there knowing people and meeting people and being at different venues. You and I met at a book signing. I talked to you and I loved your books, and here we are.
Right. And I love your books and your work. I love that that happened. I'm
Me too.
inspired by you 80%.
Yeah, it's really just getting out there. And I think you have to have audacity to kind of get yourself out there and get out of your head and say, I've got to try. I'm going to meet somebody at this book signing. I don't know who, but I'm going to go and I'm going to meet somebody or people, and it's going to be good. Or I'm going to go to this gallery or to the Peach or to the Norton, or I'm going to go anywhere and just put yourself out there. Just let the things happen that happen. I think that there's community building like we're doing with the Docent program, and just being a part of the whole art scene of West Palm Beach. All of that has great synergy together and create these synergies of interconnectivity that allow the next great things to happen. Artists meeting artists and being inspired with each other's works. There's wonderful programming at the Peach. There's different things that happen. Community is the foundation for future growth and things that can happen.
What you just said, that community is the foundation for projecting future growth, could probably be applied to almost anything in any industry in any life. It is so important, especially to recognize it in the arts. We need each other, right? That's it.
That's it. A thought maybe about what I want people to take away when they come to the Peach. I want them to feel like they found their people, like they found their tribe, like they found the breath of fresh air that the Peach is. When you come there and you see what's happening, I can't tell you how many times first time people come and they're like breathing, love this place. This is so great. There's this release of their soul to engage with and be a part of what's happening there. That is so refreshing to see and so unique, almost otherworldly in terms of how people react when they come there. I appreciate that so much. If I can, shout out to the subculture group for how they oversee the Peach and just making that available to the public and for all of us. Thank you.
Seems very much aligned with Spike and the Holiday Parade messaging. Very inclusive, very community building. It's all about the goodness underneath and expressing ourselves. And I love that subculture group building this refreshing, beautiful artist community right here in our backyard. I'm excited about April 4th at the Peach. Let's talk more about the art walk and the author signing opportunity since it's coming up so quickly. Can you tell us more about this event? Who is it for? What can we do? What can we expect? Anything that you can share without getting in trouble and spilling the beans too much.
Very excited. Part of my residency was to help bring authors to the Peach. For the first time ever that I'm aware of, the Peach is having this event, Art with Authors and Illustrators, combining with our monthly art walk. What that means is we have about 20 authors that are going to be participating with the art walk. The art walk is a standalone event every month, and all the artists who are in the studios are present and the art is there. And we invite other vendors to come and artists to come and show their work and to be vendors at the event. This is unique here coming up on the 4th because the authors are going to be there with their books. They're going to be there to sign books. They're going to be there to have photo opportunities, to ask questions. I think that's going to be something very unique and is a first for us here at the Peach. The times are from 3 to 8 and all the studios will be open. All the artists are present. You can talk, interact, and we have a really great time.
My favorite thing about firsts is that they're usually the first of many. And it does take that audacious idea, that different idea, that new artist and author in residence like you at the Peach to bring that community in and make the authors feel like artists as well.
They are artists. They're creating characters, they're creating setting, they're creating tone. You know, in many ways, a painter has to create the setting and the tone of their painting. I think artists, authors, illustrators, we're all in this together.
We're all in this together. I know you told me when people come to the Peach for the first time, they feel a release, like this breath of fresh air. If there's a takeaway message or a feeling for this particular event, combining artists and authors, what is that feeling going to be?
I want them to say, I want to come back. I want to
Yes.
come back. This is my people. This is my tribe. I found it. It's going to be fun. When you experience something and man, that was so great, and you want to come back and do it again. That was when you rolled that roller coaster, and like, man, that was awesome. Let's do that again. I'd love for people to have that sense of this was really good. I want to have and do this again.
That the Peach is like an addictive roller coaster. But why not, right? Is there a certain moment during the 3 to 8 o'clock event that you can leak as an exciting part of this event on April 4th?
For sure. The authors are going to do live readings in the studios of the artists. We're going to let each author read a section of their book live for people that are attending. I love them because you are hearing the author read what they wrote with their inflections and their intentions and their wordings and the breath that they take in between the words. And there is just something so unique in listening to the author read their work. I'm looking forward to that for myself, to go and listen to the colleagues that I have that are authors, to hear them interpret and read their work.
I have to give a quick shout out to the WNBA, the Women's National Book Association, which is the reason why I have experienced events like that. We talked about the Art Walk event and the author signing and reading on April 1st. So in addition to this event, there's also the April 10th Docent training that you mentioned in collaboration with the Norton Museum of Art, which is right down the street from the Peach. Two amazing artist destinations right here in West Palm Beach. Can you tell us more about the Docent training and what it can do for this next generation of artists, art lovers, art historians who want to learn more and interact with these pieces and share them in a bigger way?
I'm excited that the Docent program is happening, and in the process, it's an excellent opportunity for our teens here in Palm Beach County to be on board and to learn about some of the skills. So Docent is a tour guide and educated in the terms of the art and the artistry. You'll find docents in museums, you'll find them in galleries, and after April 10th, you'll find them at the Peach.
Yeah.
That's what we're excited about. Our docents are going to learn about each of the artists in the Peach. They're going to learn what inspired each artist at the Peach. They're going to learn about the art history that connects this artist today and their connection to art in the past, and inspiration and history involved. We're going to have a training, and we're going to teach these different aspects to them. One of the things that docents do is they provide a tour that'll be of the campus of the Peach. They'll talk about the 6 studios, the gallery, and be able to articulate about each of the different artists and what their styles are, what inspired them. Here's the other great part. The docents are going to gain skills in terms of interacting with the public, which is a great skill you need the rest of your life. You have to be able to interact with people. As a docent, when you're on a tour guide and you have someone who's asking you questions about the artist, they're the one in charge to talk about and articulate what's happening in that particular artist's life and their works. There's that whole skill set of engaging with the public, talking to people, listening to what their questions are. It's a skill. And the Docent program will provide that for teenagers. Another thing that's wonderful is that through the foundation, we have received a donation that will scholarship all high school students that want to become a docent 100%. So there's no charge for the docents training to high school students, and they are able to take the class free, which is amazing. And thankful to the donor for doing this and aligning with us to do it. The Docent program will qualify for volunteer hours for students who have to volunteer for graduation. It's a tremendous opportunity. All of our docents, if they are artists, painters, sculptors, we're going to have a docent show that all the students are able to exhibit a piece of their art at the Peach. Their piece will be considered an exhibited piece of art because it will have been exhibited at the Peach. I am thrilled to be a part of it and to be partnering with the Norton Museum and the teen collective there.
Where have you been all my life, RG? I don't know why our paths are aligning now and not when I was a teenager. I would have loved to have had my work shown in a docent gallery setting. Oh, the opportunities are endless. And it's sponsored. They can do this for free and gain volunteer hours for their graduation.
Something you're interested in, please contact through Eventbrite.
The icing on the cake, the Support Living Artist t-shirt, is that part of the deal
right.
as well?
So the Support Living Artists, the dead ones don't need the money.
The dead ones don't need the money.
My
Love
design.
that tagline.
It's kind of cheeky, but people love it. And that is so true. I get so many compliments and comments about it. That t-shirt, I designed it because I love the saying. I thought this is great. That is the t-shirt all the docents will receive, and that's their uniform. When they come to be a volunteer, they wear that shirt, and that's how people are able to identify a docent on the campus. That's how they'll be able to lead the tours, talk to people, interact. Simple questions like, where's RG Studio, to where's the restaurant, the myriad of questions. They'll be equipped and ready to succeed.
It really is such a cool perk. As a working artist, a living artist who's doing all these different things, what does success mean to you now in the art world?
It's multi-layered. Success is multiple successes that culminate into a big success. I sense success with our docent program. I sense success with the relationship building among Palm Beach County. It's all of these things coming together that are defining success for me now. Years ago, success was, could I just even have a gallery look at my work? Could I just get my art publicly displayed? Then it did. That was success. I was so happy. As time goes on, I'm open to success's new definitions. I'm open to success telling me or showing me what it can be and for the future that I haven't thought of or even dreamt of, but is out there and is coming. I'm open to that. It's success for what happened in the past and the things that I can see. I'm in the moment of success with certain programming that's happening and grateful for that. I'm excited about the future and what successes will happen. For me as a multidisciplinary, author and artist, I'm open to what's ahead. It's yet to be defined, and yet it is definable.
What would you say to someone listening right now who feels creative but doesn't yet call themselves an artist?
You have to resolve that you're an artist. And if you're not a practicing artist right now, maybe because you're doing other things right now that you just can't be that creative person, know that you are still an artist, and that never changes. Regardless of how your life is changing, how life is moving, you are still an artist. And don't lose or change that identity because of how life is moving and changing. Always remain an artist, maybe an artist on hiatus, but you are an artist. You are an artist who is learning new things. Maybe you're an artist who's starting to write and you used to paint. Or you're a writer and you're starting to paint so you can illustrate your own works. You're still an artist. It's the ability to say, I'm an artist and I am creative. It starts with that belief first that no matter what happens, you're creative. You are an artist.
Beautiful. I could just replay that minute every morning when I wake up. That is your core. That is your identity. Thank you for that. It's beautiful.
You're welcome.
If someone identifies as an artist, they have a creative idea. Perhaps it's a book, perhaps it's a brand, perhaps it's for an image of some kind, a painting, a piece, what's their very first move?
I say, do it, start it, have the audacity to put it in motion, paint the painting, sing the song, write the book, play the instrument. Just have that audacity to believe you can do it and step out into it. Take the action, make it happen step by step. There's a song. It's sing a song. Doesn't matter at all if it's not good enough. It is good enough for you because you're an artist. You are able to create. You take control. You make it happen. You're going to play the music. You're going to act the role. You're going to do it. You try something new and it's not perfect. That's fine. We're way past as humans, this stage in our life. We are failing or we failed at something. We're not in school anymore. We're not like get a passing grade or fail. You can't fail anymore. You can only learn things. If you try something artistic like painting, you can't fail at it because
Exactly.
you tried it. You keep learning and say, I don't like how I painted that. I'm going to add something else. I'm going to become better at my painting or my writing. As an artist at your core, you still do it. It doesn't matter that it's not there. What did you learn? What do you want to do better? What do you want to improve on? You take risks if you want. You step out of comfort zones. You try things and get rid of the lens that says don't want to fail when you know you can't fail. You're going to learn something. That makes it much better to go for it because there's no preemptive necessity to be perfect in it. You're an artist. You're creating something. So many artists get in their head and don't try new things. That's how I became a multidisciplined artist. I've said, I'm going to try. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make mistakes, but they're not mistakes. I'm just learning and I'm getting better and I keep learning more. It's a wonderful way to approach things. I encourage people that are like, create or not. Yes, you absolutely should create. You absolutely should do it without any strings on yourself because you are creating something that's never, ever existed on this planet ever. Why would it be wrong? How could it be wrong? It can't.
I
For
agree.
it.
I totally agree. There's so many quotes, but oh man, the ones that just came out of your mouth right now, they're going right on the mantra every morning.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
They should be the next Spike book. I love the rhythm of it. I love that you have to empty out your mind of that paragraph or of whatever just to get it out there because you need to get into that flow and to learn and grow as a person. There's so much there to putting yourself out there that even could extend to people. Get out of your head and put it out there. Break that white canvas or that blank page.
Start it. Just move forward and start it. If you take out that you can't fail and you take out that you can't do it wrong and that what you can do is learn from what you're doing, wow, what a
Wow.
relief.
It's light, feels effortless, and then it's
Yeah.
fun, and that's usually when you do your best work.
You removed all the parameters. You just blew them open and said, I'm just going to do this. Some of my writing will never, and I mean ever, see the light of day by anybody else. It's not for them. I had to write it and get it out of me. Some of my paintings, they're in this closet. They will never be seen until I'm gone, but I had to paint them.
Right.
I had to write that. I had to because it was blocking my flow. But I did it because I'm not going to be wrong. I'm allowing my creative process to kick in and I'm just going to learn stuff and learn and learn and learn and learn. Then you evolve, then you get better and you improve and things start to flow really good for yourself. It's just so important that you just do it and take away these barriers and just say, I'm an artist. I create. And today I'm going to do XYZ.
That literally changes the world because nothing like it has been created before.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man, can we do this every day?
I've so enjoyed this. Just talking and sharing. I love your questions. They're spot on. Thank you. I'm an open book. Ha ha ha.
Any shout outs to people who are doing great things, whether it's at the Peach or beyond, or people who may
Oh,
have helped
sure.
you get to where you are today?
My second grade teacher who spotted my artisticness at a younger age, all the way to college professors I've had, like Dr. Laura Holland and Sheldon Patinkin from the National Jewish Theater in Chicago and Michael Maggio at the Goodman Theater in Chicago. All my Peach colleagues, Trina Slade Burks with the No More Starving Artists Foundation. And of course, my dad and my mom and their influence, my kids. There's the RG collective of people to thank. The broadcast isn't long enough to list, but thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. What is next for you?
I'm working with a couple of other strategic partners to take things to the next level. We talked about my shirt, Support Living Artists, The Dead Ones Don't Need the Money, and I'm looking to create that into something much more. I'm working with strategic partners. I want to make a movement with that, an initiative, and
One
invite
t-shirt at a
all the
time.
different artists, so actors and musicians and everyone that is an artist, authors, illustrators, musicians, singers, poets, ceramicists, photographers, everybody support living artists because they can use the money and they support themselves this way. It's so important that we do that and we can. And it means so much to have someone purchase your work and want it displayed in their home or in their office or somewhere. It goes so long in their happiness, knowing that their piece brought you happiness and joy, or reading their book or watching their movie just made a difference for them. And that's what's ahead, and things are moving in that direction.
Excited to see what becomes with this year in residence at the Peach and so many amazing things for you and the entire collective.
Thank you so much. I want to shout out to you because I know you just hit a milestone of 50,000 subscribers, Jackie. What on earth is that about? Way to go to you. Huge congratulations to you. Phenomenal job. You are winning. Congratulations. That's not even enough word as an author to be able to say it. Like there needs to be a new word, but like Udabagada or something. I'll have to create just a new word or something for just the expression of saying congratulations
You are so sweet.
in
Thank
all
you so
this.
much. It's the same stuff on what you said. And will say to myself every day, it's about growth.
Yeah.
Have to be willing to put yourself out there and ask people the tough questions and then listen actively and see how it can apply to your own life and just follow your gut, right? And
Right.
that's
That's it.
for me, that's it. I love surrounding myself with awesome people like you. I've learned so much.
Absolutely. Take the wins. You have to celebrate all the wins. Again, congratulations. Way to go.
Thank you so much, RG. Thank you for your words of wisdom, and I will see you soon.
Thank you for the opportunity. I will see you on the 4th.
See you on the 4th. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.